Hello, Starseeds, Lightworkers, Empaths. Today we are going to be talking about how to protect your energy. It's important to note that when we're talking about energetic protection or psychic protection, that we are never coming from a place of fear. There's never anything to be scared about. We just have to be aware of what's around us and put the proper security systems in place. And sometimes we need to up our security system, and this video is going to provide you with techniques on how to do so. Ultimately, we live in this dimension of polarity, so there's always going to be light versus dark, good versus bad. So knowing how to navigate through that and being able to discern between what is yours and what belongs to somebody else is going to help you continue to live out your life journey and your life path and continue to be the beautiful high vibrational soul that you are. So the first thing that I want to explain before we get into the protection is to explain what exactly it is that you are protecting. So everybody has an aura or an energetic field around them, and the aura does have a couple different layers inside of it. So I drew a diagram to show you. So there are four layers. So the first one is the physical, which is your actual physical body matter, and then the emotional layer, the mental layer, and the spiritual layer. Now, this is a pretty obviously 2D drawing, so you don't have to take it so literally, but these are all the different layers or components that make up your energetic field. So here is another diagram. So I want you to take a look at this first. So the black kind of broken circle around this dude, that's an example of an aura that is not protected and is not sealed. So as you can see, there's all of these gaps here. So all of these different energies are kind of getting in, and it's getting into the person's aura, and it's getting kind of muddy. And that's why we've got all these question marks there. So this can lead to, confusion, feelings that don't belong to you, anxiety, anger. And if there's no logical reason as to why you might be feeling this way, it's very possible that your aura and your energy field is too open and you are absorbing energies from somebody else. And it might not be a particular individual. It's very possible that it could be chaotic energies from the collective consciousness, which is the energy grid around the planet that we all belong to. So right now there's a lot of fear and uncertainty there. So even more so, importantly, that doesn't make sense. Even even more of a reason for you to be sealing and protecting your energy. And then in this diagram, I just wanted to show you that once you're grounded, protected, and you have this golden orb of light, and there's a couple other visualization techniques that we're going to go over, you'll see that these outside energies, they try to like access you or come in, and they just bounce right off, kind of like a rubber ball. Okay, so now we're almost there. We're almost going to talk about how to protect your energy. But before you can even protect your energy, you have to make sure that your energy field is clear. Now, how do we do that? We can smudge ourselves using either sustainably sourced sage or Palo Santo or any other cleansing herbs. We can use a selenite wand, which is a crystal one. I actually have one here, to kind of just cut around your aura, like you're just cutting. You can even do like jagged motions, like you're just cutting away any energy cords from anybody that you might have picked up energy from. This could even be, if you're super empathic and sensitive, this could result in, just going for a simple trip to the grocery store and you've absorbed somebody's energy. So cleaning our aura with these techniques, also like a vocal affirmation, like any lower level energies or energies that do not belong to me and are not beneficial for me or my highest good, I demand that you leave now. You're not allowed in my field, and I send you away with love and light for transmutation. Now, you don't have to do that verbatim. Just come up with some kind of mantra for yourself to clear your space, clear your energy, because there's a lot of power in your throat chakra, especially because we are sovereign beings in human bodies. It's really important that speaking your truth and telling things to leave, they have to honor that. They have to listen to that. That's a universal law. So, also, you need to cleanse your living space, your room, your apartment, your house, whatever it is. And again, using those herbs is a way that I do it. If you have a better way to smudge, go ahead, do that, or protect your space. But yeah. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. This is how you're going to protect your energy. It's clear, you've saged, you've smudged, whatever. You are going to, first of all, we're going to go back to those affirmations and mantras, okay? So, protecting your energetic field with a mantra, something like shields up. I say shields up all the time to myself in my car before I'm about to go, out to the grocery store or wherever, before COVID, like before going to work or going to a party or just going somewhere where there's going to be a lot of people. Saying something like shields up activates your auric protection and your energetic protection, and your guides and your angels. They're always around you. They're your homies. They want to help you out. They just need verbal permission from you, right? It goes back to that universal law that we already talked about. So, now we're going to talk about visualizations in regards to psychic or energetic protection. So there are a shit ton of techniques that you can use for visualizing protection around yourself. Obviously, this video is not going to touch on all of them, and you're not going to resonate with everything that I'm going to say, but take it with a grain of salt. And if there's something that you really like or works for you or gives you an idea and a direction somewhere, take it, go for it. This is all very personal stuff. There's no right or wrong way to psychically protect yourself. So do what's right for you. So the first thing that you can do is you can visualize either with your third eye or in your mind's eye. And if you're not a visual person, you can try to sense feeling this around you, or just even thinking about it will actually activate this for you, believe it or not. So, visualizing a clear bubble around your field. Okay. So it's clear, you can see out of it, but it's a bubble. So if anything tries to come back in or tries to come in, it just bounces back out. It's just like bing, bing, sort of like a rubber ball, right? So that's one way. You can also do, some people use the analogy of shoes, golden shoes. So before you're going to do any energetic or psychic work, you picture yourself stepping into a pair of golden shoes. And while you're wearing them, you are grounded and protected. So these techniques go for, every day going out into the world, protecting yourself, but also grounding yourself during spiritual work, especially like shadow work or inner child work, anything kind of heavy duty like that. You are going to want to up your game with your security system as you continue to ascend and get higher. Also, you could do a golden egg. So picturing yourself, those like beautiful golden, like ornate eggs with all those details. Picture that in your field. So there's just this golden egg of protection. Anything gold, let's talk about colors for a second. Anything gold is super, super grounding and protective and high frequency. So I always like to incorporate gold energy in any healing work that I do, but also in any protective energy work that I do. You can also do, let's see, going back to the golden thing, you can picture yourself in a golden pyramid of light. You can also do a pillar of light. So there's just a beam of light around you and it's impenetrable. Nothing can get in. Invisibility cloak. So very Harry Potter style. Like just picture yourself, you're wearing a cloak and only you know where you are. Nobody else can see you. So that's a really actually powerful psychic protection technique. Pulling your aura closely to you. So picture, that diagram that I showed you earlier, picture that, and picture you just kind of pulling it closer to your body, almost like a warm blanket. Especially that would help you if you're in a scenario where there are a lot of people or if you're just walking around outside. But that really helps you with psychic protection. So you could even do that and then visualize an invisibility cloak around you. So that would work as well. I also want to talk about sacred geometry symbols. So I attempted over here to draw a Merkaba and also an Ankh for the ancient Egyptian symbol. And there's also the Reiki symbol, chakra, and the Star of David. So all of these symbols resonate for me. And I picture them, I place them on myself and around myself visually, but also when I'm driving, I'll put them on my car. I'll put them if I've got somebody in the car with me, I put these symbols on them as well. And, those are symbols that work for me, but there are a lot of other symbols, like maybe Metatron's cube really resonates with you, so working with that, but just incorporating sacred geometry or any other ancient symbols and using them as symbols for protection. Okay, so that'll be super beneficial for you. You can also place those symbols like in your mind's eye on your windows or your doors as well to just psychically protect your space. So the next thing that I want to get into is ascended masters and archangels. So if that resonates with you or if you've worked with them before, of course, a lot of people in the spiritual community are familiar with Archangel Michael. He is the dude for protection. He is the guy to call. So you can call on Archangel Michael if you have never worked with him, but you would like to. Before any psychic work or energy work that you do, or if you're feeling particularly um anxious or nervous, I wouldn't ask Archangel Michael to come in for a small issue. It's more like shadow work. He's really great for protection during that, or even like past life work or shamanic journeying, anything along those lines. You can ask him to step forward. You can say, I'd like to ask Archangel Michael to please step forward and surround me with the golden light, white light of the Holy Spirit, or whatever resonates for you. This is just an example that I'm using. And then it's really important that when you close and when you're done your energy work, that you thank him. I'd like to thank Archangel Michael for stepping forward and allowing me to work with him, or any ascended masters that you want to work with, or any other spiritual concept that you are comfortable with. So it's important to ask them to step forward, they're with you, and then when you're closing, to thank them for stepping forward and allowing you to work with them. That gratitude piece before you close is super important because that's their time and their energy too, and they're helping you out. So it's really important to acknowledge that. The next thing I want to talk to you about are crystals. You really think crystal nutrition? I'm not going to talk to you about crystals? Of course I am. So there are a few different crystals that you can use for protection. So one of the biggest ones for protection is black tourmaline, and I have a chunk of it right here. And it's really good for transmuting negative energies, but also keeping you grounded. The other one is a black kyanite. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. So it's a bit of a different formation, but black kyanite is also really great for a third eye, all of the chakras, and transmuting negative energy, negative thoughts, anyone trying to throw negative shit at you. This is a good one to have. And also, let's see. Oh, I don't have any on me. This is a black tourmaline bracelet here. But you can also use obsidian, black obsidian. It's kind of looks like volcanic glass, and it's quite shiny. So those three black crystals are really, really, really good for protection. And you can keep them in your room or in like certain corners of your house, or you can wear them as jewelry, and they're great. And also I would use smoky quartz for absorbing fear-based energy. That's a really good one too. Now, in terms of jewelry, you can wear any of these crystals as jewelry on you, but you can also look into talismans, which is what this is. This is a cross symbol that I really resonate with, and it's a protection symbol, obviously, talisman. So you can also look up different talismans online and see which ones you are resonating or vibrating towards. So those are also really good. There's the classic, like the evil eye or the hamsa hand. Those are all great. It's up to you and what works for you. Another way that you can energetically protect yourself and your space is to use protective herbs. So I have a mix of protective herbs that I keep in an open jar on my dresser in my room, and this is just it's really for protection. And there are a bunch of different protection herbs you can use. A lot of like new age stores will sell them. This mix here that I have is yarrow, blessed thistle, white willow bark, horehound, and hyssop. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce all of those. But it's whatever resonates with you. And I'll also, when I'll have this in here for a few weeks, and then I will transfer it to a cheesecloth, and I'll put it in a salt bath actually. And that's a really good, like, cleansing, protective bath as well. So protective herbs, as I mentioned before, sustainably sourced sage or a Palo Santo or any other herbs that you resonate with. Those really help as well. You can also use salt. You can sprinkle a little bit of salt in your purse, a line of salt like between the door of like your room and the rest of your house if you just kind of want to keep your space high vibes because you live with a lot of different people or there are a lot of different energies around you. You can also sprinkle a little bit in your car. I mean, you don't have to go crazy. You could literally take a few granules between your fingers and sprinkle them and just, set your intention that you'd like to ask the salt to work with you in a protective way and to protect this car, protect this space, etc. I don't want you to, unscrew your salt shaker and dump salt everywhere. No, just a few little pieces that no one's going to notice anyway. So salt is super, super purifying, super cleansing of your space and protective as well. There's that, it's a very witchy concept. You hear about, circles of salt, right? Circle of salt around yourself, around something else, and it's a protective barrier. So you can also visualize that if you don't want to dump a circle of salt around you. Understandable. You can also use salt in salt baths. Okay, so Epsom salt, Himalayan salt, and use some what are they called? Those herbs like lavender, essential oils like lavender oil or myrrh or frankincense or anything that you can find just a little bit in the water. I also want to talk about Florida water. So this is like a perfume. It's not actually water, so it's quite flammable. Don't actually put it near any candles or anything. But what I do with this is I'll put a little bit in my salt bath as well. But you can also put a little bit in your palms, rub your palms together, rub your entire face, your entire body, all the way down to your feet, and then rubbing each sole of your feet with the Florida water. You don't have to be drenched in stuff because it smells nice, but again, it's a perfume. So you don't want to be covered in it, but just like a few drops in your hands. And then, yeah, it's a really strong protective. It's got a really high protective frequency and it's quite powerful. So either on yourself or a little bit in your bath with your salt. And while you're having this salt bath, picture yourself just, releasing everything and all of these energies that no longer serve you going into the water. And then stay in the tub when you pull the plug. And as the water's going down the drain, picture any negative energies or anything no longer serving you going down that drain. So then you're left in the tub and you've got a nice clear vessel, but you're also completely protected. Salt bath ritual. All right. So next we're going to talk about how to energetically protect those around you. It's great. You're clear, you're protected, you're on your A game. Now, how do you protect other people? This is a little bit tricky because, there is the universal law of free will and you can't just go in and do energy stuff on somebody kind of without their permission. But there are certain exceptions to that. For example, small children or pets, or if there's someone you wanted to send some protective energy to, you can ask permission from their higher selves if you're able to do that. So a way that you could protect other people or place protection around them, especially if they're vulnerable, you can work with those symbols that we talked about earlier or any symbols that resonate with you, and in your mind's eye picture yourself putting symbols around them. You can also encircle them with golden light, right? Or a bubble or a golden egg. You can just in your mind's eye protect them that way, but also make sure that you connect with their higher selves first and you get that permission from them. Most of the times I would say they're usually fine with it, but you always just want to check. It's a courtesy thing. And that concludes our video on how to psychically protect yourself. Now, I also just want to implement how important it is to do all of this stuff regularly. It sounds like a lot. It's overwhelming. I gave you a lot of information. You don't have to do everything that I suggested. You could do a couple things and that'll be just fine. It's whatever works for you. Or if you find that as you're ascending, you continue to feel like you're absorbing and you have to up your game, then you have a couple more tools and tricks in your handbag on how to up your security system. But you have to regularly cleanse, okay, guys? You have to regularly cleanse your energy field. Think of it like spiritual hygiene. You brush your teeth every day, you shower regularly. I hope most of you, maybe not because the pandemic, but you know what I'm saying. So really keep this up, and maybe like every Sunday you cleanse your space just because it's a new week, so it's like you're cleaning, right? And anytime that you come home from somewhere, you take your selenite wand and you're cutting cords, or you're shaving energy cords right in your mind's eye off of people. But really just keeping this up, refreshing your protective herbs if that's what you decide that you want to do. But yeah, so keep it up. You're fine, you're safe, you're loved. It's safe for you to be in your body. I hope that these tricks and tips helped you. Leave a comment below if there's another way that you like to protect yourself that wasn't talked about in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Ciao. I can't believe I just did finger guns. That didn't happen. Shh.